Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Getting ready for that nearing the daily close analysis, as it is a nice little early evening over here from Chicago, Illinois. As always, wish you well. Wish you the best, as we like to say. And I really want to follow up from this morning's live stream because we're actually seeing the move kind of populate right now. So I really wanted to wait. I really wanted to wait and hold off on putting up this video because I did want to make sure that I wanted to actually make sure that the move is going to fucking happen. To be quite honest with you, and so we got that first move back up to test around 10,150. Now we're kind of coming back down and filling the lower targets down to 97ish. It looks like. So I'm going to waste no more time and get in the live scene. I'm actually looking at price action right now. It's looking quite vicious. So. As always, wish you the best, the happiest, we'd like to say. I'm going to get in the live scene right here, right now, so I'll initiate the teleportation. Come on, baby. Oh, man. It's broken. It's fucking broken. Oh, well. Well, you know what? I'll figure it out later. Anyways, right here, right now, with Bitcoin, we're printing a massive 4-hour bearish engulfing dildo right here, right now. This is also going to close the daily. And we're going to see a couple confluent factors come into the market right now. So first and foremost, we obviously have the death cross going on in the 4-hour. That's the green 50 exponential moving average and the purple 200 exponential moving average, which I do want to talk directly to right now. Just for a second, they are gaining divergence away from each other, and more importantly, if we put on the yellow 21, you can see that the 21 is actually governing all these local highs, and it's really not until we get back above the 21 where I'd even be willing to, not willing is not the right word, but I'd really be considering that the damage is done, right? That the damage is actually over, and it's time to get back into looking for longs mode once again. But for now, as you can see, it's actually doing a good job of forcing this bitch down. Now we have come down to our next level of support down around. Whoops, sorry, wrong chart. Let's go to GDAX. There we go. We have come down to our next level down around, hey, where? Oh, I guess I took off all the major moving averages. That's why. The 377 exponential moving average is what I was looking for right here. It's going to be right around 9,800 even. But more importantly, if we actually do break this area, which I think that we do, start to close some higher time frames below this region, we're likely going to get the next test to the 9,650 to 9,700 region down here. I'm curious though, where was this lining up on? I want to bring back all these moving. Well, no, let's finish this idea first. All right, so the golden cross and death cross on the 4-hour dildo time frame. I do want to speak specifically to this because historically speaking, this actually has been a damn good indication for kind of where we are in the overall market phase, and it has actually offered up an extremely good timing tool. So first and foremost, we need to take into consideration what we're doing in this overall trend right here, right? And this has been pretty much a straight uptrend for the past 6 months. So we're basically in an upwards market. Macro is an uptrend. We're getting our first major death cross right in over here. In fact, the first golden cross that we got right in over here essentially switched the market up and led us from about 3,500 to 14,000 almost. So if we actually scroll back just a little bit further, and go to our past prior upwards market, which was not during 2018. So all these death crosses here are going to be, drastically different in my opinion. It's just, a different market phase. But if we go back on over here to about 2015, 2016-ish region, we can actually get the turnaround out of the last bear market and kind of judge where these last golden crosses and death crosses had an effect on price. And so going back on over here, I believe this is it. Yeah, right on over here, this looks like around the turn. Yeah, 2016, 2015, beautiful. So right after this region right here, we had just kind of played out a bear market, and this was the first kind of turnaround. And so all the death crosses after here is what I want to really be keeping my eye on. So we have a death cross right here. It actually happens once most of the damage has already been done to the price action. We only actually from cross on price action to the actual low, only about a 6% move to the downside. But more importantly, Bitcoin spent some time going sideways here, and again, much more importantly, we actually do see Bitcoin get the golden cross right on over here, and that accurately gets the bullish momentum to the upside. Is it, is it sexy? Are you buying like the ultimate low as a knife catcher? No, but it does work. And more importantly, it incorporates the idea of opportunity cost and being inside a moving, an actual moving object, moving asset. In this case, to the upside. Then we have the next example right on over here where we get, where is it? It's right on over here. We get the death cross in early 2016. From price action to low, we see about a 17.5% move. And it actually takes about a couple weeks for it to resolve itself. But once you get the golden cross right on over here, there's your bullish momentum being gained for the next like 6 months or so. I mean, it's pretty damn good. And then we go into the next one right on over here. Again, this death cross actually happens after the fact of putting in a low, funnily enough. And we do play out a little bit of a downs here, about 4.5% to the downside. But more importantly, we get the golden cross quite soon afterwards, about less than a week afterwards. And what happens after that? Massive move to the upside. Then sets up the same thing right here, right? We get a death cross. Most of the damage has once again been done to the downside. In fact, I believe the low is put in actually. Then we play out this little rally right here, and then make a little bit of a lower low, about 20% lower. I think that's the lowest one that we've seen thus far. But more importantly, we get the golden cross right on over here, and then boom, upwards and onwards for the next, Jesus Christ, like 6 months it looks like. Then same thing right here. You already get it essentially. You know what I'm going to say, so I don't want to bore you with that. We have another few examples essentially, but more importantly, the golden cross is really what I'm looking for my next big upside trade. So I really don't have any interest in playing like medium or long-term longs if we're doing one of three things. As long as we're below the yellow 21 exponential moving average on the 4-hour daily time frame, absolutely fucking no. If we can get above there, I probably will start a little bit of a starter position to the upside. If we can, however, get a golden cross in the 4-hour daily time frame, that would be significantly more powerful to me. I'm sorry if I didn't explain it before. It's the 50 and the 200 exponential moving averages. Are the ones that I use, not symbols. I don't think symbols get it all that well. And more importantly, if those actually get golden cross, yeah, I'd be much more inclined to hold a little bit more medium term longs and can perhaps construct a position to the upside for a more long term trade. But that was going to be governed off the third and final and most important aspect of this, and I'd be looking at the daily 21 exponential moving average right here. This guy right here. Anyways, I've completely forgot to talk about it. So a little bit of proof of trade going on right here. I am actually only playing options right now, so I always want to speak directly to this. For the last week and a half to 2 weeks, I haven't felt too comfortable like actually trading spot. I haven't really had like a strong opinion on direction. I think it's been pretty difficult to make money trading spot recently. If you've been doing it, like fucking congratulations, that's amazing. Really good job on your own behalf. But this is why I like playing options. This is really the time to play options when you're stuck in these ranges after having massive trending moves and now kind of consolidating really on the higher time frames. And so right here we can see in just another week of already we're only on Tuesday. I'm already above two, even above two Bitcoin P&L. So I'm actually quite happy with that. And last week I think we did about 2 Bitcoins as well. So this is only Tuesday, so we still got a lot of weeks to go really. But my point is that this is a much more deductive way of trading. So hey, if you're not having success trading spot right now, definitely look into options, because this is really where they shine. Actually, they really shine when you're stuck in ranges and things aren't really trending. They're kind of like choppy, which I think is very difficult to trade. I mean certainly you could trade support and resistance, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like this whole style is just a lot more easy on the soul. But hey, to each their own. As you can see right here on the daily, while we are here, let's put back on all these major movement averages and speak a little bit directly towards this. There's something actually that's quite nasty, kind of in the population right now, happening right now, and we basically see the green 50 exponential moving average about to get violated by price action, and we are going to be closing this daily doodle in the next 23 minutes. So anywhere below that 50 exponential moving average was about 10,100, and I do think that we're probably going to come down to that next target area around 9650 to 9700ish region, looking pretty fucking likely. But I mean, we've seen crazier things in like a $200 rally in 12 minutes, or sorry, not 12 minutes, but 22 minutes, even better. So you get my point. It's still not necessarily done there, but I would keep an eye on that. Again, it's 100. So if we close below there, probably do fulfill that move a little bit lower, and obviously that's going to come into confluence with the 4-hour closing as a bearish engulfing dildo as well. Keep in mind though, when we do populate all of our major moving averages here, we do see the 377 exponential moving average coming in right around the low 9700 region. So I do think that Bitcoin does try to piece together a bounce from 9700 to about 9650ish region, and then we'll kind of reassess from there. But the bounce at that point in time, it gets tricky. It gets difficult. Yes, I do think that we bounce targets on top of that, probably back to the 21 on the 4-hour. If it rejects again, then we can talk about much lower targets, and unfortunately it's going to be pretty much towards our prior lows at around 92 to 9300ish region, and if that area fails, then we can talk about the 8000ish region, which I'll actually talk about right now directly and specifically. So let's go on over here to the weekly, and I don't know if this information actually got out during my video last night. Unfortunately, because my video last night had like bad audio and audio issues, I'm not sure if this was before the audio issues happened or after. But anyways, to explain this, first and foremost on the weekly, we have 2 moving averages here. here, the red 10 simple and the yellow 21. During very strong trending markets, you actually can just come back to your red 10 simple and consolidate there, and that's okay. But that's only during extremely strong markets, which Bitcoin, I mean, is pretty fucking strong right now, to be fair. We actually did have a good reaction off of it last week. So again, I don't really want to be looking for any sort of major massive moves down below 9,000 until we actually formally and fully break the red 10 simple on the weekly, to be extremely abundantly clear. However, there is something that is staring in this, in the face, and it's a 21 exponential moving average. And in healthy markets, it's completely normal, completely natural, and completely fine to come back to your 21 exponential moving average. You can see that Bitcoin actually does have a history of playing off it, going all the way back on over here to the past prior market cycles. I mean, just historically testing it has been pretty damn good. More importantly, if we actually combine this with the jewel down here, and now is where it gets a little bit more nasty. So turn your eyes away if you want to be bullish. Turn your eyes away right now, and don't listen to anything I'm about to say for the next like 5 minutes. And we do see a very specific signature here that actually lines up with some nasty shit. And we basically see the light blue oscillator getting into the critical zone. It doesn't matter where it gets into the critical zone, just needs to get into there. And then we get a red flash in the background, and then a negative slope on that light blue oscillator. Whenever we see that happen, we get a dump down to the 21 exponential moving average at the very least. Well, in every single time. So we can just go back and we can test it right on over here. This first example happening in actually 2012, and dump down about 50% all the way down to the 50 exponential moving average, or sorry, the 21 exponential moving average right there. Then same thing right on over here on this next example right here, and down to the 21. You can see a perfect wick down almost immediately actually. Now, then another example right here, about 64% move down. Now, I'm not suggesting that I don't think that Bitcoin's going to have more than like a 20% move down, actually. And we've already had some damage done from the current top, so, don't let that scare you too much. Then another example right here, as you can see. I mean, we don't even need to really go through them, but another example right here, gets a signature, boom, down to the 21, same thing. Well, actually, we don't even have it right here. And then right here, and then obviously the top at 20,000, and then in 2019, we are doing it once again, and this would be the only time out of 9, I believe, if we actually don't come back down and test the 21. So it is, it's a difficult area, and it really does make me consider that Bitcoin probably does find its way down to the 21 at some point in time, over the next month or two. And that would imply that this is going to take a lot more time, essentially going sideways, and that likely will be the next big opportunity. Of course, there's also a few other points of interest within this region. I believe it might be like something on the daily. Let's double check this. Do we have like the daily 200 or 377? Yeah, the 377 is way fucking low. The 200 exponential moving average is even lower than that right now. What about the 200 simple? Wow, they're all way low. Jesus Christ, man. No, the other big and obvious thing is is CME futures right here. CME futures having a massive gap from 14th of June, so about a little bit more than a month ago. Of course, the Gap boys are going to be so happy about this one, but again, it's still going to take its time. So, just blindly trading towards a gap. Good fucking luck with that, my friends. Good fucking luck with that. Looking at daily right here for CMEs. We actually haven't taken out yesterday's low just yet, but if we do take out yesterday's low, I'm going to expect this to come down to the mid 9s most likely. But for right now, funnily enough, on CME futures, it actually looks okay. And I do want to speak a little bit more towards the towards a more nice course of Bitcoin on the lower time frames here as well. So there's a very specific thing that I'm looking for right now. I want to see all the momentum oscillators kind of align with each other, and we've been monitoring this for the past week or so, and they've been slowly but surely kind of grinding each other down and having the congruence with each other, but they haven't quite got there. And today is the first day where we're actually starting to see them almost all line up, but not quite there just yet. So I'm going to bring up the hourly and start with the hourly right here first. We see hourly Stokes actually crossing to the downside right now, but they're still pretty weak. However, you do see actually a nice trend line forming as well. So to be fair, probably actually does play out. But what about 2 hour? What do you have on 2 hour? 2 hour are up as well. You can see like that, they kind of have these confluences with each other. 3 hour are actually technically down right now, and then 4 hour are going to be hanging out on the ground as well. And actually, I think in the process of confirming a fake out. So the thing is that they are slowly but surely getting down to that area. They're not there just yet. We've been monitoring this for the past week. It takes its time, is my point. But when it does happen, I actually would be looking for a nice local low to be put in. We probably do rally up, to the tune of like, I don't know, 500, maybe even $1,000 from that region. The question is, how low do we get first before that actually happens? Because we just literally had a fake out on the 4 hour. I mean, that's a bearish engulfing dildo just staring you right in the face, man. I mean, that's not so nice. And the thing is, though, is that I actually do think that we see this play out sometime in the next couple of days, because the daily Stokes are actually still up as well. So all these guys are agreeing with each other. or sorry, potentially agreeing with each other. It looks to me like the stars are aligned. It's just maybe another day and a half, 2 days, until I see all those guys, fully and formally with each other. I wouldn't try to trade before that, as you just never know, right? And that could be the difference between, if you got, that could be $500, that could be a $500 dildo just straight in your face and up your bunghole and just out your mouth. I mean, it's completely terrible. You don't want that. Anyways, back on a Bitcoin right here. Let's go. We already looked at CME futures. Let's go check out. Let's go check out GBTC. GBTC is really interesting to me right here because GBTC has not made any lower lows like Bitcoin has, like spot Bitcoin has. In fact, this still works as a massive consolidation, especially even on the higher time frames. I mean, it's sloppy as fuck, but it works. So this low right here, higher than this prior low right here, and this low right here is still higher than this guy right here, to be fair. So again, having some difficulty getting bearish as long as we're above this 50 exponential moving average right here. That does seem to be the guide and the governor for these lows. If we do lose that area, then yep, back down to the mid to low 8s or whatever this equates to on GBTC at like 10.5, quite likely. Let's go check out the other top shitcoins. We got Mr. Beaterall and Mrs. Litecoin. Mr. Beaterall looking quite sick here, resting on its next support. It's actually just a smidgen above it. Let's go down to a lower time frame, 4 hour right here. I think the 4 hour actually does pull through. I think the 4 hour actually does pull through here. I'd really like to see the 4 hour end above 215, but it's only got 14 minutes and 18 seconds. I don't know if that's going to happen. What about an hourly? Hourly looks kind of nasty. I think he's going to try to put in a base here and actually rally off of it a little bit. What else do we have? We have Mrs. Litecoin, $90 and 12 cents. Pretty much the same chart here. But the thing is with Mrs. Litecoin is that she's actually bouncing off of her purple 200 exponential moving average on the weekly, which I just don't. I'm not. Until you actually break that fully and formally, I'm not looking for like significant downside here. I mean, I think you're closer to a nice bounty bounce action than that. The thing is, though, is that if we actually do close below the 200 exponential moving average, then I'll be looking for a move actually back down here to about $80 even, and probably lower over time. But the thing is that the weekly actually looks okay. We had a really good reaction off the yellow 21 exponential moving average. That tells us that the Boston algos are defending this region. And this, I mean, if we could get some continuation above it, anywhere above 106, and I'll be looking for a move actually back up towards 115, maybe even 120. Needs to happen first. I mean, we need to take out the high of this guy first. But yeah, if that happens, then that would look a lot more like a reversal. Mr. Beater, we already looked at that one. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. I'm gonna keep it a little bit on the shorter side here because I want to hopefully get this video out before the daily dildo close, or at least start to upload it before then. So yeah, lower time frame is going to be coming into a little bit of support action right here, anywhere between about 9,700 to anywhere between about 9,750 to 9,650. I would be looking for a bounce within this region, and we'll kind of get to bounce targets after that, probably back up to like 99, 99.50ish region, and we'll kind of reassess off that. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. I think the big important things are to be aware of the daily right on over here. Any close below the 50 exponential moving average, and we probably do play out again a little bit more downside to 97. Give or take a few bucks. And then I'd be looking for a bounce. Probably do retest the 50 exponential moving average on that bounce. So that's going to be somewhere around like 10,000 or 10,100 actually. So a little bit higher than what I previously said. But you get the idea. More importantly, and during all this time, I'm not interested in playing any sort of longs. Like I said, until we get back above the 21 exponential moving average or get the golden cross on the 4 hour, whichever one happens first. I'm happy to jump on. But imagine it's probably going to be the 4 hour first. But if that can happen, then yeah, I will be constructing some medium and long term longs, as you can see from the from past prior history. It can take some time. It can certainly take some time after getting the actual cross, and we still are just one day after having it, so it's quite soon. A little bit too early to really be judging these guys. I think we do have a 2-day closing tonight. 2 days going to close quite nastily, actually closing below the yellow 21 exponential moving average. We do see 2-day Stokes to the downside still. Not good, man. Not the best signature. 3-day we do see the 21 exponential moving average right around 9,700. So that is my target for the lower bound of this current range. But to let's actually chart out this lower range just a little bit more before I go, just very, very briefly. Let's get these guys around running over here. You do see that this blue box territory has provided the rejection, so you do see how these kind of like operate over a longer period of time. Take some trades off that, pretty damn easy. This next sort of block, we can actually put a block right here on the current price action. This is going to be in the next target zone between about 97.50 to 96.50. I imagine. Sorry, no, that's even too high right there. It needs to be like right here. So I'd be looking towards. So we'll actually just lower this a little bit. Yeah, somewhere in here is where I'd be looking towards, and we'll probably just play between these guys for a little bit of time. Any sort of a break below 96.50, and I'd be looking for a move actually to back down to about 93 to 9200ish region. It's not going to look good if that happens, and that will set up the higher time frames for that move down, likely into the mid to low 8,000s. But like I said, macro is I'm still bullish on the macro as long as we're above 8,000. But like I said, like I also said, it can take its time, right? We just went 6 months straight to the upside. It's basically did a fucking 4x off the bottom. We went from like what 3,100 to 14,000, more than a 4x actually, almost a 15x, right? Or sorry, 5x. We need more X's, baby, more X's now. Fucking amazing. Anyways, yeah, so it's going to take its time, but it's not until we actually break below that area would actually become like macro bearish, so like actual prolonged downtrend on the weekly. For now, still just kind of resolving itself. I think a lot of people got spoiled to the upside because Bitcoin was just basically trending each and every fucking day, which is nice, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of it too, but it's just not realistic to keep up over a long period of time. So for right now, Bitcoin still kind of stuck within this region. If we could move back above 10,150 right here. Sorry, let me actually just collapse this down just a smidgen. If we could close any sort of an hourly or 2-hour dildo above 10,150, then yes, I would say that this would open up the doors for a move actually much higher towards 10.4 to 10.5 region. Probably test a daily 21 actually along the way. But for right now, things are looking a little bit more droopy than not. And I would be looking for a base to be put in somewhere around here, and then we probably try bounce off this region, and then we'll kind of come back to it. And tentative bounce target would be about 10,000 to 10,100. Anywhere above 10,150-ish region, though, I'd start to really look at this to explode back up. Explode is the wrong word. Sorry, explode is the wrong fucking word. But I'd be looking for it to move back up to like 10.5 region, we'll call it, and then we'll reassess from there. And it'd start to take on a whole different meaning on on the higher time frames. But for now, weakness begets weakness, man. Unfortunately, and Bitcoin almost hitting our lower target. Hit our target to the upside. Now hitting our lower target now. Or almost hitting our lower target now. I'd rather just be a little bit agnostic within this region, kind of let price action resolve itself. With that said, I do want to leave you off. Do want to wish you a nice, happy and healthy and restful rest of your Tuesday. I'll be back on tomorrow with some more video and live stream analysis. Looking forward to seeing you there. As always, wish you well over here from Chicago, Illinois. Take care and see you soon.